Welcome to the Aligned Ambitions Show, where we share women's entrepreneurial wisdom. That is a tough word. Are you a woman starting or growing your online heart-centered business? Are you wanting to do things differently? Do you feel icky about using manipulative marketing tactics and are ready to align your business with your ethics, values, and life goals? Then stick around for this conversation. Today, I have with me Elizabeth Sanchez of Magnificent Mamas Collective. Gotta love live. Elizabeth Sanchez is a seasoned spiritual practitioner who has dedicated over 29 years to women's wellness as a holistic health and wellness practitioner. Her mission is to empower women to stand in their power, attract abundance, build healthy relationships, and live their best lives with renewed passion and joy. Also, what I love. As a master of shifting energy and focus, Elizabeth helps individuals move from scarcity thinking to abundance living. Her private practice offers powerful tools that individuals can easily integrate into their daily routines, resulting in a more fulfilling life experience. Welcome, my friend, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, I'm excited. When I had this idea, I was talking to you and Cheryl was here for our last episode, and so I asked both of you at the same time, please be my first two guests because you're exactly what I want. I want to show the world that we can do things differently. So
Yeah.
can we start with a little bit about yourself and maybe what the catalyst for change in your business was? What moved you into a more authentic business model?
Mm. I think that's an incredible conversation, number one. And also, as a business owner, as you shared over 29 years, being a heart-centered business owner for me was very scary back then, right? I went into the holistic health and wellness industry, and to open up my business as a female and in a male dominant world, especially where I was in Pennsylvania at that time, um, feeling that the grace and the forgiveness to do things different for me growing a business and through the Heart Center, um, it felt awkward because I felt so different, right? I didn't know what I was doing, but I also didn't want people to see that or think that I was looking at them as a price, right? When I was in this industry of healing, it was a really awkward place to think, oh, I'm going to help you get to where you need to go, but I'm also going to put a price tag on that. And so in the beginning, in the early years for me, it was a huge struggle to price my services. And so after obvious years of trials and tribulations and realizing if I don't put a price tag on my services and do it out of love, number one, they won't heal. And I won't be in business because I can't do things for free. So I think that it was just a huge awakening for me to say, it's okay for me to tap into my heart center and grow. And when I grow, because I'm offering a service that is helping people get results for wellness, I too will receive and feel the reciprocity of abundance because I'm doing it from a heart center. That makes sense?
It absolutely makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
So that I think that was the
Yes.
biggest part of,
Yeah.
yeah. And to me, I think that it just made me realize, like, not having the experience of growing a business from heart center, didn't have anybody to follow or to teach me. I had to go and find my own pathway that felt right.
Mm-hmm. And I
So that
think
was my early experience.
I love that. And I think that's an important part, that what feels right to you, right? What feels right to you.
Mhm.
And I just want to back up just a little bit because this is a conversation I've had not so much in the recent years, but definitely 10, 20 plus years ago about healing and charging for healing work, right? And if you're a healer, you should be giving of that. And I believe that energy the exchange of money or whatever it is that you're exchanging, there's that energy that comes with that. And that's a good point. Like we have to be able to survive while offering the services as well. Otherwise, we completely burn out doing, a job plus the healing. That doesn't make any sense. How can you
Mm-hmm.
fully move into the space of healer if you're not looking after yourself?
Right.
And so just seeing that shift over the last few years and recognizing that you came into that, when it was not the norm, was
Mm-hmm.
not accepted. How difficult was that to do?
I think it was the determination of whether I was going to make this career work for me or it wasn't. And at that time, I was working for a chiropractor and I felt very underutilized. I didn't feel like my skill set was, I felt like a lack of alignment with my skill set. So I was either deciding that I was going to be an employee or I was going to be on my own and be a business owner. And ironically, growing up in a family owned business, I always told my parents I didn't want to own their business. I didn't want to take that over. But what I soon realized is if I didn't start acting like a business owner, and use this as the propelling forward motion to say you need to charge, you need to treat your business like a business, even though you are a healer and you're helping people. You're not going to be in business and you're not going to eat either, and you're not going to pay your bills and you might just live on the street somewhere. And that wasn't a lifestyle that I ever imagined for myself. So I needed to get real with myself and notice that, the chiropractor that I worked for, he was in an alternative holistic healing modality. And why was it okay for him to make a ton of money because he saw 100 patients a week? And why wasn't it okay for me to go open my little brick and mortar health and wellness business down the street and also do well? Not that I was ever going to see 100 patients or clients in a week, but at that time, I saw 35 clients a week, which was a very successful, thriving business. And it was apparent that I was supposed to be there and that's what I was supposed to do. And my clients appreciated it because they paid out of pocket for my services. And that I think is a key thing. Having an exchange, them paying you for your services, and in exchange, they got results for health and wellness. It's powerful.
I think that is a really important part. And I'd like to just talk about that a little bit more, that exchange of energy, right? With money's energy and the healing services energy, that exchange of energy. Why do you think that is so important?
Well, because there's value. I had in the beginning, where, like I said, when I worked for the chiropractor, he ran services through insurance, right? So insurance would pay for people to get massage, and inevitably, those are the people who canceled. They didn't show up, and also they didn't get the results that we were hoping for. And so after years and years of observing this, it made me realize when I went out on my own that the people who paid cash for my services, they were the ones that appreciated me, right? They showed up, they rescheduled from one session to the next, and they made it a part of their lifestyle because they got the results and they saw the results happening. So I think that it's an exchange of energy that they chose voluntarily to come and pull out their wallet and pay for their service. So much more power than those who were, the doctor was saying, you need to just get a half an hour of massage through Elizabeth or whatever the service was, whether it was reflexology or Reiki or whatever the exchange was. Those people didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the ones that paid did.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I still see that now. And I'm not saying that there isn't the occasional person who does the work and is so grateful for um, that exchange in a different way, right? Like what I usually ask if I'm going to give someone is that they turn around and give to somebody else in whatever way they can, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because of that energy. And so there are people who definitely do benefit, but I think this is my own. No, I know within me. Let's be honest. That energy exchange is such a vital part of the healing work. It is a part of how we actually shift. What are we willing to exchange something of importance for, right? Whether it's our time, our money, our energy, whatever is important to you. If we're willing to exchange something of importance, we value what we get back.
Hmm.
And I think I know the energy in that. I want to stop using the word I think. I know that energy is very much a part of the healing journey.
Hmm.
So when we're talking to women who have heart-centered businesses and they're most likely new to the business world, maybe they've been doing it for a while, but most likely new, and they're afraid to charge or they're afraid to upset people or they're all of those things. What is one key piece of advice, maybe, or key piece of wisdom you could give that maybe will help them?
I love that. And as I'm listening to you talk about this topic, there's a lot of layers there. Number one, as you said, there's a lot of healing that happens. And so when you look into the heart center and that heart chakra, there's the law of reciprocity. We give, but we also have to be receivers. And when we receive, we hold in without hurrying up and giving. So for example, often I will hear somebody, if I said to you, "Oh, Larissa, I love your outfit." So many women, and I express women because I notice this the most, they deflect the gift of the appreciation of acknowledgement, right? Even if it's, I love your outfit. Oh, this outfit, I've had this so long, or I bought it at the thrift shop down the street, or I paid nothing for it, blah, blah, whatever. We deflect it. And instead, I think it's a practice, especially before we can really receive the money part of it, is practicing receiving the gift of appreciation, taking it in, pouring it in, holding the space for that appreciation, holding the space for the gratitude, right? To
Mhm.
say, oh, you noticed me and you noticed and took the time to say that you liked my outfit, or you said that I was pretty, or that you said that you like to be around me, instead of deflecting it, which we as women tend to do. And I still practice this 30 years into practice, right? That I have to just say, oh, thank you, and leave it at that and hold the gratitude as though it's a gift rather than tear it open or put it down, right? Because we need to do that for both ourselves and from you being the giver. So you're the giver. I need to hold on to the gift in appreciation and pause. And I need to pause with that gift to really absorb the power of that gift. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. When did you know along your journey, because you came from a more corporate selling structure, when did you know along your journey that you had sort of aligned yourself well and things were, was there an aha moment or a time when you just, oh, I get it. It's all come together now. Did that happen?
Well, I think even while I was going to school, I was living out in Arizona and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I was going into like the hotel industry. Hospitality was definitely more my speed. I loved taking care of people in that sense. And the short version is had gotten a gift as a massage from one of my roommates. And I was on that massage therapy table right before the plane was taking off, bringing me back to the East Coast to live with my parents once again, because I still couldn't figure out life. And this woman who was giving me this massage placed her hands on my back, and I was like electrified, like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. This is the career path. I had never ever for a second thought about getting a massage, receiving a massage, thinking about it. So that awakening right there and then was so powerful for me. And then when I came back to the East Coast, I found myself a school and I went right into massage therapy school. And one thing led to another. And it was the power of being divinely guided, so much to the point of I was working in the hotel industry while I was going to massage therapy school. And I had gotten into a car accident and had whiplash as a result of this car accident. And I thought, you know, that chiropractors were slightly quackery. I don't know why. I mean, but when I had to go to the chiropractor because I had blackouts and tremendous headaches, I realized like, wow, there's something to be said to these two modalities of massage and chiropractic, the spine, and how incredible this is. And so then I found myself in a chiropractor's office, which was very safe, working for a chiropractor at that time to build my belief system, to build my self-esteem, to build my awareness of healing. And these two healing modalities are so intricate on wellness and helping people find wellness. So again, thinking back 30 years ago, chiropractic was still a little different. And then meeting massage therapists, very rare to see them together in the same office, but I was in a safe space. So finding that, knowing that I was divinely guided in that career path and then protected in that industry, keeping it in a health and wellness space, especially as some massage therapists as young females at 21 going out on their own would have not been identified as professional, or you name it. We can go into those stories, but we'll save that for another conversation. So it was definitely an awareness, that knowing that the divine guided me on that path for sure.
I love that. I love that. I think that's also a really important part. We often push towards something, and when we can allow it to unfold, right? And we just allow that the divine energy to unfold, it's amazing where it'll go. I was having a conversation this week. I might have even been with you. I was having a conversation this week about the path we take. And, we think, oh, it's all wasted time and I wish I'd gotten to it sooner. And it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey, right? What did you learn from it? What did you need to know from it? And often you can look back and you can see all the connections of that. But when you actually open yourself up to allow, right, it just unfolds in front of you. It unfolds in front of you. I'm watching it happen right now in my life. So it's just literally like the carpet is being rolled out, and I take a step and the carpet's being rolled out more. And when you come from that place in business, right, which I feel you very much do, come from that very divine space of leaning into what is unfolding in front of you. how do you get to that comfort zone? I know how I did. I'm asking you, how do you get to that comfort zone of being able to just allow?
Mm. Um, I'm thinking back to why or how or when I recall. For me, my dad was a big proponent in teaching me that there were no coincidence. So growing up in that environment, especially when I was about 16, 17, my dad opened those opportunities of belief systems, and he certainly didn't force or push. He almost like put it on a platter to say, here, Elizabeth, here's an opportunity to see nothing happens for a coincidence, like as a coincidence, right? So do you think that that was divinely orchestrated, or do you think that that was just happenstance? And so as I started to really explore the ideology and the partnership of the universe, right?
Mhm.
I chose that it felt much more comfortable for me to feel like I was not alone. And so at a young age, and I'm recalling 16, 17, but I know way younger, like 12-ish, I became much more aware, although I wasn't in tune to the energy of being divinely guided. But this 16, 17, 18-year-old self said, here's my hand, guide me. I'm going to close my eyes and I might not want to see what's going to happen, but I'm going to trust that I am guided, because I believe that we are here as miracles. And I know I was a miracle because my mother had chance that wasn't going to have me as a child. However, I became. So I wondered, like, why? Why was I here? Like, what? And this is when I was in my teenage years. Like, if I wasn't supposed to be, and if you look at the statistics of becoming, right? How did that happen? So I knew that I was here for a bigger purpose, and I wasn't going to just wait for my big purpose to find me. I've been a seeker, like, so I've always been that. Okay, so why? Why are we together? Why are we having this conversation? Why did I meet you? I need to know. And partly for selfish reasons, like, what do I need to know about you? What do I need to know from you? What are you teaching me? Or what am I here to exchange with you, right? Because I know that we are here together teaching one another. And whoever's listening to this recording, or when they listen to it again, I know that it's for a reason and they're getting something for it because it was divinely guided and placed in their, in their inbox, right?
Mhm.
So I think that just noticing and making that partnership become your everyday awareness that there are miracles. And as long as you give over your hand to be guided, you are welcoming every step of the way to be magnificent.
Yes, and I would absolutely agree. And there are many of us who go kicking and screaming for the longest time before we finally give in. It's just like, don't tell me what to do. I know better. And
Well, that's
eventually,
because we feel like we need to have control or to have say in this, and
we have
and
all
or
the
we want to
say.
be heard, right? But we can be heard, and we will be heard if we just turn it over to our posse, our team of guides, because they're like, girl, I know what's in front of you. I know what's in store for you. If you just trust and tap back into that trust factor, you are here for something huge. And stop fighting me, because otherwise you're not going to get there, or you're
Or
going to
it's
take
going
the
to be
long road.
painful, so painful. And then you know
But
anyway.
there's a
But
lot of
yes.
purpose in the pain. There's a lot of purpose in the pain. So for somebody who's listening, going, oh my gosh, I'm going through the painful route. What are you learning from that route? And they think that,
You might
just
not
like what
know
I
yet. You might not know what you're learning yet. It comes.
Right.
It comes.
And it does come. And if you start to really observe and ask, what am I learning from this moment? What am I learning from this moment? You can learn something every moment of every day, but it helps you to go inward instead of look outward for the self-fulfilling prophecy from somebody else. You get to learn it from yourself because we're the wisdom keepers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to just ask one more, maybe silly question. Have you ever had a time where someone was maybe pleasantly surprised or um, shocked by what they were capable of because of the work you did with them? Is that a silly question? That might not be as silly as I.
No,
Mhm.
it's why I get to show up every day, right? So for me, it's not a silly question. For me, it becomes my GPS system to know that people are making changes in their everyday life and having a place to share their thoughts or help them make sense of whatever is going on in their life, right? A lot of us don't have a place to put our stuff. Maybe our partners are wonderful, but they're not our audience. So having and getting the chance to work with somebody, they get to hear their thoughts, they get to identify with their feelings, and they get to clear some of the clutter away so they can say, I know where I'm going now. And I know what I want to manifest. I know what I want to attract into my life. And because of that, I just attracted the most magnificent spouse, or I was able to grow my business. And as a result, I'm making more money than I ever thought imaginable. And I'm able to help so many more people because I have all this money that I get to play around with and make choices with. So, no, that is not a silly question. That's like an incredible, normal, very powerful question because when we step into our power, we change and the world around us responds. And when the world around us responds for the greater good, they get in alignment and on track to what they're supposed to be doing and they fulfill their life purpose and they're happy. Right? I want to be
Yes.
around happy people.
So what Elizabeth is saying is follow your life purpose because you can change the world. You are change in the world. I love
Right.
that. Love that.
And even in the corners of your own life, even if it's just with your people, your community, your immediate family, not your layers of family, because you might not ever change them. And that's okay. That's not what they're here for, or you're here for. But if
Mhm.
that happens, that's great. But you're here to change the people around you. And for those who say yes to you,
Yes.
that's the big difference.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about the Magnificent Mamas Collective? I struggle with that word. Magnificent Mamas Collective. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, I would love to. So it's funny, I was just saying something in my meditation class just yesterday, something about someone said magnificent. And I said, I love the word magnificent. Like when I say it, it just sends tingles in my whole body because when you think about magnificent, it's colossal, it's large, it's larger than life itself. So when I think about magnificent and mamas, the mamas are women, not women who are just moms. They're women who are nurturers. It's the heart-centered business owner. It's the woman who nurtures the animals that are in need. It's the woman who nurtures their community because they need more food. Or it's the woman who is nurturing her sisters and her mothers and their girlfriends. It's all of that woman who is a nurturer and acts as though she cares, right? So as the collective, what we do, I love to shine light on women. My biggest uh, desire in life is to show women that they are magnificent and that I will be your big sister, elevating you, rising, elevating and rising, right? No one of us is going to be bigger than the other unless if we're surrounded around women who are doing great things. Because if I am the biggest person, then the rest of us are small. So the collective just really brings light and shines light on all women who are doing great things. Um, we do a variety of events online and also in person. Everything circulates around the body, mind, soul connection. So it's my backdoor way of getting women to heal without realizing it. So it might be coming to an art class or doing a dance event or coming for life coaching, whatever works for that woman or whatever that woman is ready to say yes to, that's what we're offering in the Magnificent Mamas Collective. And it's not just me, it's the collective of women who I might say, okay, you don't need my work today, but you need to go get some breath work through Tara, or it's me knowing the directory of women who are doing things, and I can direct that specific woman to whatever she's needing that moment in time.
Love that. And a reason why I'm a member. Yes, I love it. I want to thank you so much. We will have your links there. And I just want to thank you for being on and talking to me about what I think is such an important topic, just changing how we show up in the world, doing things that are more in alignment, that work with us as women and how we want to move in the world, and being able to do business from that as we can show it really can be done. I think more and more women will feel more comfortable to move into that space of alignment. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say one more thing to that point. I feel as though, and I know that as we heal as women, and we shine our light and shine light in others, we're giving other women permission, and not just women, but also men, because men are starting to rise up and also see that soul proponent of the body, mind, soul connection. And so the ripple effect on the generations that we're healing to come is at least 7 generations in front of us. So we're healing forward so much, and how rapidly our world is healing. That's why it's so important for us to show up, to shine, and to heal with one another, because we're going to make this world a better place because of that work.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. And thank you to our listeners. If you're a woman interested in aligning your heart-centered business with your ethics, values, and life goals, join our Aligned Business Building Mastermind. We have accountability, like-minded women in our community, and we're filled with resources and trainings and just a really safe space for you to build and grow your business. And I'm offering you 90% off your first 30 days with the coupon of Aligned90, and the link will be below. Thank you for listening.